8. We're going to get this thing started in about 5 minutes, all right? So y'all just set tight. We're going to get this thing shared off to different platforms. You know, it's always a beautiful thing to reach as many people as possible, man. So we get the message out. We got a special guest today as well, so it's a beautiful thing. All right. So there it goes. Let me share it.
There we go.
It's on there. It's on there. Got a special guest today. You guys, I want to surprise you a little bit, but we flexing out here. That's the only clue you're gonna get. We flexing out here today, and this every time you press this channel, the goal is to make sure that you leave a better person than you came, and that is exactly why I brought our guest on today. They have a Facebook group as well that really is geared towards the same thing, and it's about our community. It's about always just finding more out there for yourself to get more out of this thing we call life. So it's going to be a beautiful thing. You know, we might not even wait down to the 3 minutes to drop. What do you say? What do you think?
We could go.
We can go.
Yeah, we could go.
I like the way you go.
Yeah,
I like
we
the way
could
you
go.
think. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys, we are coming on now. Just give me 1 second to get this thing rocking and rolling. Get this off the screen. And welcome to the 1028. How you guys doing today? How you doing? Hopefully you're having a beautiful day out there. Hopefully the world is providing you with everything you need to do everything you need to do to make this place a better place. So welcome back, guys. Welcome back. I got a special guest here today. Let's say hi to Sierra, who and I'm gonna let her tell you what she does. You know.
So I do a podcast, blog, Facebook group, as well as many other ways to get connected called The Social Flex, spelled THA. This group is to bring social awareness to different issues that we may have as people. I'm not going to put it to any type of nationality, race, creed, any of that, because believe it or not, we all deal with the same issues that go silent that we don't want to talk about. I've been doing this for a little over a year now. My first segment in series talked about mental health and what a lot of those things mean to you as a person. Everybody is their own individual. Everybody has their own opinions. I leave it as an open platform where people can join in as
Absolutely, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about every bit of that, and that's exactly why I got Sierra
Yeah.
on here today. We linked actually through a Facebook message about somebody talking about a podcast, and next thing you know, I was like, you know what, I got a studio, and then Sierra dropped on me her group. In the group she started on Facebook. And once again, we put that up there. It's called The Social Flex. And if you're not following it, you need to be. And it was, we end up dropping, I hopped into your direct messages. We start talking and conversating. Next thing you know, it led to a phone call. And the conversation lasted for about an hour.
Yeah, it
I mean,
did,
we were
yeah.
literally, it was like talking to me. You know what I mean? I felt like I found my tribe, and for those out there, my tribe is different. You know what I mean? If I want you guys to become part of it. So subscribe to the tribe. Go on to the 1028 podcast as well, the channel you're watching, and don't forget to follow. And that's on Facebook as well. But we are here today to talk about the social flex and what Sierra's out here doing. I think we need more groups out here like that to talk about mental health. We are our biggest ally and our biggest enemy. So a lot of times
That's
our
real.
problems always become us overcoming ourselves. How did you end up starting the social? Give me the origin story. That's what I want to know. We want to know the origin story. What about y'all? That's what I'm trying to know. I want to know how this thing got going.
I'm very transparent. So the origin story came from me dealing with my own issues. just overcoming a lot of personal obstacles I had. One of them was mental health. I found out a couple years ago that bipolar. I have bipolar depression, ups and downs. So, I learned in order to keep that secluded or seclosed, I gotta watch who I'm around. I gotta watch the energy that I'm around, the people that I let in my space. So, a lot of people are not. They don't want to mention those things. Like we as this community are told when we deal with these things, we're to hide them, suppress them, not talk about them, put them in a closet.
Absolutely. It's a horrible thing. And you know what? I knew there was a reason why we connected.
Yeah.
Because I'm also bipolar 1.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
How I found out, it was actually, I'm actually, I don't think of it as a disability. I think of it as a super ability because of the things that, it's the gifts it gave me. A lot of times we look at what these issues, because I have to, like you said, I want to hear, if you don't mind, could we go through your experience? That kind of will give my experience, if that's okay. I don't know if you want
So
to be.
I'm manic, so I have
Yeah.
extreme highs and extreme lows.
Right.
They could come at the drop of a hat. It could be you say something like a word could be triggering that takes me to an extreme low. And sometimes it's hard to get back to that high. So
Okay.
I watch my surroundings, who I talk to, if I even think that the conversation is going to lead me somewhere where I don't want to be.
Right.
I don't have those conversations, and I make sure I keep my circle small.
Absolutely. You protect your peace.
Yeah, I
your
protect my peace,
But
yeah.
that only comes with knowing who you are and
Yeah.
how you respond, so identifying that in yourself. My situation was the same. One day I woke up and I had all this energy. It just hit me out of nowhere. I had all this energy. I was talking a million miles a minute, to the point where I've struggled with substance abuse, but I was clean. I was literally clean for, at this time, probably about 2-3 years. And my wife thought I relapsed or something like that, because as much as I was talking, I talk a lot. You guys know I talk a lot. That's why it's my whole aura, my whole existence now is talking. But I was talking a lot, and I didn't know what was going on with me. I felt like I could do anything. I felt like there was no
Invincible.
Yeah, I felt invincible. It was very powerful feeling. It was a very powerful feeling, but also I knew there was something wrong with it. And so, my wife said, I think it's time, we at least take you to go figure this out. And so I ended up being hospitalized, and they told me, you are bipolar, because they ran every test there could be, just thinking like maybe I came in line or something. And it was an interesting thing. But the beauty I found in it was this, though. At that time, I was struggling with social anxiety. So I wasn't talking to anybody.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking to anybody.
Yeah, I have social anxiety as well.
Yeah.
It may seem like I don't, but I really do.
You seem so cool, calm and collective. Though.
I'd rather be in a room with 1 or 2 people than be in a room with 20 people.
Right.
It just feels like all the eyes are on you, and just brings out a different type of anxiety in me.
Yeah. How'd you overcome that? Because it seems like, at the moment you seem very, I feel like you could talk with the best of them, the rest of them. You got this
There's a lot of fears. I have a lot of fears, but there's a lot of fears I got over. And in this past year, and with me doing counseling, I did counseling for like 3 years. So, and I've had like 2 or 3 different counselors. So with counseling, I've learned how to channel different things. Like I'm intuitive, so I know in a split second if this ain't for me, like I can't. Like
right.
So,
people, places, and things are so important.
Yeah, people, places, and things, and I could tell as soon as I get in my car what type of day it's going to be. I could tell like where the transition is going. So I try to again be mindful of the people, places, and things that I surround myself with.
Right. Well, I think that becomes the beauty of these trials and tribulations that we face in life when it comes to mental health, is that we have to be aware. We have to make sure that we identify what are the things that doesn't fit best with myself.
Yeah.
And what that does, it makes us navigate in a way that we do protect our peace. Sometimes this thing is just the indicator. I think it's that beacon that that shows you, what you need and what you don't
Yeah.
in your life. But it's just a more of a rash type of thing. It happens all together at once. But I think it's, for me, it was that type of beauty for myself.
Well, the other thing is, again, we're not educated on it. We don't.
Yeah.
You could probably, I would say, right now, go into a high school and get 5 different kids
Mm.
and ask them if they know what depression is, anxiety, bipolar. You could ask them those things, and I guarantee you,
Yeah.
probably 4 out of those 5 kids would be like, "No, I don't know what none of that
I
is."
thought bipolar wasn't real. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you just get upset? Doesn't that mean you just have anger problems?
No,
Like
no.
I've literally fought with people like about this. Like before this happened to myself, and I think it was like Karma as well. I was talking with people. I was like, what do you mean? This doesn't even sound like something that's for real. You just get upset, and then you get very you get a lot of energy, then you get mad. I say, isn't that what life's about? But there's an extreme to it.
Yeah,
there's an
there's a-
extreme
there's
to
a
it, and
real,
it's a whole
whole-
thing. But I literally, before I was diagnosed, I didn't think it was something that I thought it was an excuse to act like a certain way, just because I was uneducated.
Yeah.
And that's what your this group that you have. That's what it's about, right?
It's about educating people on these different things. If you scroll down, like one of it is the 5 signs. One in 5 people struggle with mental health conditions, and that right there just helps you to go through it and figure out, if I'm suffering from one of these things that may lead me to talk to somebody to get help. A lot of things that we don't know we have, and this is 90% of the world has this one thing,
Okay.
PTSD.
Oof.
90% of the population has PTSD from it could be a number of situations.
Okay.
And what one of my counselors did, it's EDRM. It's an eye movement dissociation with your trauma. So when I did that, she got me back to my childhood, back to the thing that traumatized me the most. And we started doing these processes to help me release a lot of that trauma, so I wasn't bringing it into everyday lives or something that would trigger me, or something like that. There's other things too. I have dyslexia. That's another thing.
Oh my goodness, we was, see, this is why the conversation lasted so long, because these are some things that are mirrored between our stories.
So
It's absolutely beautiful. Let's take it back for 1 second, right? Maybe we can also pop in the website if you know it right in there. You know what I mean? You can go in there and do that. But let's take it back. So you have an identifier, like you have something on the website that you can take, like a questionnaire that can kind of let you know that maybe you need to talk to somebody, or maybe
there's not questionnaires. There's just so. One thing about mental health you don't want to do to somebody is make them feel like they're crazy. They
Okay.
have to acknowledge it on their own. So even if you take a questionnaire, that's somebody basically telling you
that
you
okay.
have this issue.
Right.
Instead of you, like when you read it and you identify with things, that's what I started doing. I started reading things and I would identify them, like, wow, like I do that.
Right.
Or I see this in me. So it's more, a lot of the stuff on there is if you do this, then you might have this. Like, for instance, restless. If you're restless, if you don't sleep, that could be a sign of any one of the, I think there's over 350 mental illnesses that you could possibly have. That's on the Facebook page too. Like when
Okay.
you first get into the Social Flex, that's one of the very first things that it says, that there are, I want to say there's over 300 and something mental health diagnoses, but there are about 10 or 15 that are the most popular that we get diagnosed with, such as
Okay.
depression, anxiety,
let me ask you a question. So where exactly or is this information coming from, right? Because you want to make sure it's coming from a credited source.
They're coming from like a lot of medical websites like WebMD, a lot of medical
Right.
professionals that post the information. It's just not something that I'm just pulling.
No, you said you're so intuitive, and
Yeah,
me
out
just
of the
knowing you
air.
in it for a few days, and just the conversations we've been having, I'm like, I know you check every crumb of the cake.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
for
you're
real.
not just going to be like, no, this is what it is. I mean, we're literally going through equipment. Like I'm just going on some things, and I'm like, she's looking it up. All right, let me check this out.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
do this. But no, that's the beauty of. That's the beauty of what you're doing is like you're not just going off of what you're hearing, you're also going off of experience, right? I
Yeah.
always say you never asked a bird how to swim. You asked a fish. I'd rather ask somebody that's actually in it about their, what they're using, because I think it's more valid information. Now you also do a Zoom podcast, which we may be changing. I think this is going to be the way these podcasts are going to go on the social flex. You see, I got to put the social flex.
So yeah, I'm really leaning towards this kind of platform, but it will also
Absolutely.
still be Zoom related, where they could kind of lock in and chime in also, because again, if it's not for you guys, the viewers, there's none of this,
Right.
because it opens the dialogues of the questions and the opinions, because everybody again has their own opinion, and we're not discrediting anybody.
Well, I think that's beautiful because I didn't even think of that, right? Privacy is also
Yeah.
necessary as well because a lot of times these conversations are very hard to have in a group setting. I've tried that as well. It doesn't, for some people that's okay. Some people are willing to be vulnerable that way, but there's different strokes for different
Yeah,
folks.
there is different strokes for different
Right.
folks, and I
Right.
want to make it clear, and I've always made it clear. Anytime I did the podcast, or anytime I do the podcast, you can have complete anonymity. You can be anonymous. You could, if you're joining in through the phone, you could blank out your phone number, your name. You don't have to bring up your screen or your picture whenever you join in. So if you want to remain anonymous, you can, as well as when you're talking. If you want to remain anonymous when you're talking, because again, some of these topics are so private, but not private, because of course, if you're talking, you want a resolution to it. And that's what this is for. This is to basically give us all resolutions, because sometimes we all have the same questions, or we all have the same feeling. We're just afraid to speak on it.
What was the reason to start? Like, what made you initially start this page? Let's go there. I'm ready to go. I can tell by the smile. This is going to be a good one right here.
So
Let's get it.
I'm actually going through a divorce. So I was going through a lot of mental stuff throughout the divorce. I'm still going through a lot of mental stuff. I just know how to handle it a lot better now.
Okay.
So that was a lot of the mental health segment, and in that I was doing a lot of the stuff that we were talking about. I was healing. I was healing from childhood traumas, as well as relationship traumas, as well as parental traumas that I was having. I was healing from a lot of that and growing. So the main part of that was growth, to get people to understand what their growth is and how to grow out of these situations into more positive situations. Because one thing that I've learned is you can't repeat your past. You can't take it with you.
No, that's right.
So you got to let go of it, and you got to grow and learn from it. You can't foresee your future. So we can always talk about what we want to do in the future. I want to do this, I want to do that. But you got to remain in your present. To be present is a present. So,
Ooh.
Let's
put the social flex on right there. What you said that's where you can follow. Please believe me. If this is something that you may be struggling with, you're not alone. Please do not hesitate to go on to the Social Flex Facebook group to receive all this information, as well as be tapped in directly to Sierra and her beautiful tribe.
Yeah.
Because it's a we thing.
It definitely is a we
it's not
thing.
a me
It
thing.
ain't
It's
a me thing.
yeah,
It's a we
it's a we
thing.
thing.
Yeah, this is a team.
Yeah,
So
and so that was kind of so you said your situation was kind of the reason you started the group. Was it
Yeah.
was it a way to
Well,
connect with more people about
it wasn't
this?
just that. It was like I would go on Facebook or Instagram and I would see people talking about the same thing I was talking about or the same way I felt. I'm like, man, like we ain't talking about this. Like we ain't nobody talking about. Like we all share something in common.
Okay.
We all share possibly a common hurt or a common anger or something that commonly makes us happy. Why are we not talking about it? So that's why that was another reason why. Because again, as I scroll through Facebook, a lot of my topics that I get for these are from Facebook. Like me
Right.
scrolling and being like, oh, that's dope. That's a good topic.
But see, and you know, I think a lot of people sometimes are saying, "Well, that's not true." No, it is you, because what you're doing is you're curating different things that actually resonate with you, right?
Yeah.
You're taking from here and there, and that's all this. That's what everyone is doing. You know, they're trying to find the things that resonate with them to make sense, make this universe make sense, and put that back into the world in their version of it. You know, so you were out there. You're finding, you know, these quotes, and you're seeing people, and they feel like they're talking to you.
Yeah, and that's
They're
what
talking.
that's. Well, I don't want you to just feel like you talking to me with this. I want you to feel like you're talking to everyone, because again, if anybody knows me, my motto is be blessed and a blessing. You don't know how you could be that. Just by you stating what happened to you, you could bless somebody else because they may be feeling like, man, I'm going through this alone, by myself. I ain't got nobody to talk to.
Absolutely.
But once you spark and say, you know what, this happened to me, they're like, okay, they've been through that too. Now y'all connected. And there's a lot of people that that have been on the podcast that I tried to get connected because they went through the same thing, and that's a conversation. How did you overcome that? You know, if you didn't overcome it and I overcame it, how, you know, I could probably give you some pointers. And again, advice is advice. It's not meant for you to take. It's just meant for you to listen to. So
Right.
you walk your own battle with the
Right,
advice
the
that you're
responsibility
giving.
to take it is on yourself.
It's on yourself,
Right.
yeah,
I can point that direction, but I can't take you by the hand and walk you there.
Right.
You know, you have to walk by. You know, and I feel like it is important to find somebody that it is important to get this out of you. Right. We only have the ability to keep so much in. Right. It's not. These secrets your secrets keep you sick, right? That's what they say, right? These things that we keep to ourselves, a lot of times grow a lot bigger, and they outgrow the space that you put them in to hide them. So I feel like your body only has enough space. It's not indefinite. You don't have indefinite space. You only can hold so much in here, and what you have to do, I believe, a lot of times is talk to get a lot of it out of there, out of your body, so you can make room to put better stuff in. And that's why I feel like it is important to have these conversations
It
and
is.
communicate,
It is.
and have an outlet where you can go where there's people like yourself seeking that same solution, that resolution.
Right.
So, and I feel like
Right.
that's what the social flex
It is.
It does.
It's you know, making people social aware of things that we may be going through. Like I said, the first segment was mental health. The second segment that we'll be getting into really soon is relationships.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay. Because that. So. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know.
so I'll just
Yeah.
with relationships, we're gonna dive into a lot of things and really dive into it, such as dating,
Yeah.
types,
Okay.
exclusivity, like what does it mean to be exclusive in
Right.
that conversation, manifestation, sex, because
That's important.
for some reason, well, it's not only important, but for some reason, our society, our social is overly sexualized.
Right.
So it's how do we keep that in a place where it's protected and it's sacred? Because right now it's not sacred, it's socialized.
Whew.
So
Talk that talks here. That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Can we get a taste of that? Not you know what I mean of one of those topics. You know, just to give like a backstory of, or not a backstory, but just a little bit more context of the type of content that's going to be happening in these podcasts that you're going to be doing.
So the first one, which I'll probably be doing here, to be honest, we'll probably get 2 other males, 2 other females in here.
You got 4 people.
Yeah.
We can make it 5. You know what I mean? We can always share mics, so you can have as many people
So,
down there as you want. For table talk.
And it's people that are going to be open-minded, people that are going to be vulnerable, who are going to be transparent, who don't mind talking about this. But it's exclusivity. So the question is, we are exclusive. I didn't know that. So
whoa, hold up. Hold up.
So
okay.
When we talk about being exclusive, what we have a lot of times in these relationships that we get into, we have a lot of linking, or back in my day they were called missions, or whatever you want to call them.
They were calls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Until you become exclusive. So there's not really a conversation. So when you get into a relationship, there's always these questions as to, or these insecurities about cheating, friendships outside of the relationship. So when you have a talk about being exclusive, you're exclusively talking about what that means to you and the person that you're going to be in a relationship with, which could be 2 totally different things. So once you have that conversation, you may decide that you don't even want to be exclusive with this person.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but I was actually listening. I can't wait to hear it. No, I can't wait for this. And once again, guys, you are watching the 1028. This is a place where if you guys are looking to have these type of conversations, you know, maybe if you want to start a podcast yourself, this is, you know, make sure you DM me and we can also figure out something. I am extremely excited to, let's pop it right back on the screen, the Social Flex. Come on with it. I got to do this every time. Just got to do this every time. The Social Flex with Ciara and her beautiful tribe will be coming down here, and you'll be seeing a lot more of these. And make sure you follow her channel to get on and listen to a lot of these. I'm already a follower, so you know I'm on this, right?
Yeah.
I'm just happy. Yeah. I'm gonna be in the back of the scenes and be able to watch this happen.
No, I mean I want, you know, I want guests. I want the conversation.
Right, and that's what we need more of.
Yeah, because we need more of the conversation. Yeah. Also in this relationship thing, once we get past, again, that's the base. Okay. Those are the bases.
Come on with it. I think you ain't done yet. I don't think you're done yet. So let's go. Let's go a little deeper in there.
The base of that, in the base of exclusivity is marriage. And then sometimes in marriage, you go through your separation and your divorce. So I'm really going to dig in and break down those things, because I've learned a lot of people in my age group are at that stage where they're separated and or divorced. Okay. And a lot of that is because there has never been a real conversation as to how real marriage is and what it takes if you don't have those talks about being exclusive.
That's what it is. That's the Social Flex for you. I literally want you to keep going, but I feel like what they need to do is go on the Social Flex Facebook group so you can really get this, because it's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
It's coming.
This is happening.
Go on the Facebook page, read the things about mental health, because you got to do the work on yourself first.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't know, before you hop in these relationships that you getting in with somebody, you got to clear your mental. You got to heal. You got to grow. Right. You can't repress anything from your past. You got to bring that clean energy into the relationship so you and that person can build together the correct way without any trauma.
I got 2 cents to drop in that wallet. So let me say this, man. It is not your partner's or your future partner's responsibility to heal you. Ooh. It's not fair. Ooh. It's not fair on them. It actually is not fair on you as well. And I'm talking to both sides. I feel like a lot of times, you know, you find yourself wanting to heal somebody. Like, you know what? Oh, they're in a bad situation. Let me nurture them, you know, and bring them back to life. You know, I feel like sometimes that's not the best way to start a healthy relationship. You know, I think both parties should be coming in with a certain sense of understanding of who they are and where they're at. It's not, you know, all the stars don't always align. That's not make this a fairy tale. We know that that's not always the case, but maybe to do as best as you can to make sure that you are mentally ready, mentally prepared, not just physically prepared to get involved with another person, because you got to understand these emotions are real.
Yep.
And if you're coming in half-assing it, the situation's already half-assed, and you only have half that probability of that thing surviving. So let's we got to tap in on this thing. Once again, guys, this is Sierra, and this is my very first guest on the 1028 podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh no, thank you for being here. It's absolutely an honor to have. Now you didn't set the bar extremely high for the next person.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
it is what it is.
Let's keep pushing for the stars. I say I don't mind if you aim for the stars and hit. But if you aim for the gut, if you aim for the stars and miss, but if you aim for the gut and hit, that's a problem, right? So we shooting for the stars here. We shooting for the stars, and I think we hit one. Yeah. So yo, thank you for coming on.
Oh, no problem,
I think this can go on for a little 2 hours, but I think we got a few things going on right now, and and I feel like, you know, just having this content, having you on here, and having the people listen to what you got going on over there is beautiful, and I feel like it's going to give them enough to know that, you know, it's coming. It's coming. I'm just looking y'all dead in your eye and letting you know.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's happening, guys.
We're going to have a lot of topics with this next series. It's going to be so real. But I think for me, the next series is going to be fun.
That's what it's about as well.
Before because, you know, I go based on series. So mental health, relationships, then we'll go family, kids. So, and again, in my age range, these are all things that we are going through.
Dope. So is there one last thing you would like to say to anybody watching, anybody listening? You know, do you got something for them?
You know, my saying, be blessed and a blessing. Always remember to be blessed and a blessing.
Absolutely. And you know what I got to say to you, man. I want to say you go out there, do something beautiful. The world is counting on you. It's counting on your dopeness. And as well as, don't forget, this world is a blank canvas. It is up to each and every one of us to grab our paint brushes and paint this masterpiece together. All right? You all right? All right. Let's go. And once again, this is the Social Flex. On my left here with Sierra. Don't forget to follow that. Now I'm at the 1028 podcast, so don't forget to follow that as well. And come and pick up these gems, collect them, put it in your wallet, and you know, go out there and do something beautiful. We out. Ooh, that was dope.
Appreciate you.